Okay, let's do another painting. Let's do a pear like we were doing before. Now I don't mind if you blot out sometimes, but you have to be real careful. Let me show you. Now we're going to do a pear, which is totally different from doing a landscape in the sense of, but we're using the same techniques. And if we had a pear here, okay, this is kind of a fat pear. God, I did a lousy job. But doesn't matter. There we go. There's, whoops, alright, there you go. There's your pear. Okay, you can see the lines there. Now, again, we take our brush. We can get into some of the water. Now, remember, where's your light coming from? Always have an area where your light's coming from. I'm going to say that the light is coming this way, okay? This way. Alright, so there's an area like around here where I'm not going to have any water. So this area here, okay? So then I'm going to lightly paint water here like this, see? Around there, making sure that I keep that area kind of clean. Okay, if that's indeed where the reflection's going to be. Then we can bring this around like that. Okay. Okay, so now we painted the first wash. That's like doing the sky. Now what are we going to do to it? Well, we're now going to add maybe a little bit more, less water. Remember, less water, more paint. Okay. We can test it on the paper if we want, or I can just go in there and see it's a little too dark, but that's okay. We'll put it in. Remember, this is watercolor. Everything kind of darkens in time. Okay, we can put that in there. Okay, that's all right. Now, if you feel that that's too dark for you, then you can go in with your paper towel, but just take it just a little bit, dab it a little bit, give it a little texture. Okay, that's it. Okay, now, before it dries, that's why I'm taking my finger. I'm using the back of my finger here to test, to see. Okay, right back here. Now let's get in some more color here. There you go. Okay. And I'm going to put that in here. Okay. Leave that out a little bit. Don't get it too dark there. Okay. And then maybe I'll just add a little bit here. Always going within the strokes of the fruit. Okay. And then maybe really dark, just right around here, so I get a lot of paint on there. And really give it a good once over right here. Don't leave it alone, no matter what it looks like. If you've done it, if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. If you want, you leave around. Now, the sun is coming this way, so only the bottom part get nice and dark of the stem. Okay, and just do one side of the pencil mark. Okay, and there you go. There's your pear. Again, we're still doing the same idea. We're still doing this wet into wet, and we're able to do that. Now with color, we'd be changing the color around in that to make that look a little differently. If we were doing, let's say, a tomato or something like that, I don't know. Come up here. We'll do a tomato. I don't know, what does a tomato look like? To make this a fat, juicy tomato. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, something like that. Okay, great. Oh, beautiful. There's your tomato. So now, how will we do that tomato? Let's say the light now is coming this way, all right? So just like when we were teaching you to do this when you're doing the other, when you're doing drawing, same thing. First, rinse maybe just put a hint of color just so that we can wet the paper. And again, the area you're going to reserve, remember here where I wanted to reserve that area here? Let's say it's going to be right about here. So then you're going to put the water in, but only in those areas where you know you want that to be, okay? That's it. Okay, so now we've put in the water, we've kind of, and it has a little bit of color so you know where you're going with it. Now we can turn around and we can put in a little bit more, and it's like painting a ball. We know that already, we've done that before. We can, you know, we won't put too much, we'll just put a little bit. There we go. See, it's like doing the clouds in the other, you know, it's lightly done. Okay, I'm not even going within the deal. I guess I should, because always your silhouette's important. So don't screw around with your silhouette. If it comes out there, then make sure it comes out that way. Okay, don't mess it. You can go outside the line, but can't screw around with the silhouette. Okay, can't do that. That's one fat thing on the bottom. Now we can turn around, we can put in more paint, okay, and especially on the bottom because it would probably be sitting on a table or something. So we're gonna really and then really give it some roundness by putting in this part here, okay, and maybe there's a little dip here, so we'll put a little bit there like that. Okay, and then maybe we'll put it on a table in a sense. So we can give it that. Well, first of all, let's finish it. Let's give it a little bit here. This is the stem, right? And then here, you see what I do? That's now I've not gone wet on wet there. I'm painting on dry, but right away, remember I told you have 10 to 15 seconds in which to take that paint and do something with it. Okay, so that's what I've chosen to do with it, like it or not. Okay, just so that we have a sense. Boy, I don't know. Give it a sense of texture there. Now we can turn around and we can put in a little bit of a bottom here and a bottom here, and wherever that is, this is a shadow there. Okay, and now we'll put it on something. We're going to put it down on something, so we'll take a little bit dark. It's a shadow on the bottom. Okay, run it right in. Okay, and that gives it an anchor. It anchors it down on the and if it bleeds into the vegetable, in this case the tomato, it's okay. All right, now you can see now, and then here, because this part reflects some of that, you can put a little bit of that there, okay, so that it reflects off from here, okay, some of the shadow. So there you go. Now you have a tomato there. You've got your light area. You could argue whether or not, I'm kind of allowing it. Anytime watercolor dries, it dries lighter than when you actually paint it. This is actually lighter here than it was when we started, and so is this. And so will this, but I'm for my midtones, this would be light, medium shadow, and then dark. I'm putting in, I've got that midtone. Now if I want, I could turn around and put really black here. Not really round it, but I'm afraid to do that. Sometimes you do that and then it doesn't quite turn out right. So I'm going to leave that alone. Since I'm doing a demo, I want to make sure I play it safe. So here you go. All of these we're doing wet into wet. That's wet into wet, wet into wet, wet into wet. And making sure the areas where you don't want to paint, you leave dry. And the water will not go in there. And if the water doesn't go in there, the paint won't go in there when you're painting wet into wet. Okay. Another thing I'd like you to practice doing and this is important, is just practice taking some paint with any of the brushes and doing this. Well, wait a minute. We didn't do that right. I'm sorry. Well, no, yeah. This is not a wet into wet X. This is wet into dry. Take to dry paper. Take heavy paint. Do something like this. Okay. And then draw a tail. And the challenge here is to go from dark to medium. To very light. That's there. You see that? Good example. Dark, medium, light to almost imperceptible. I can even add a little bit of water to that. Dry my brush a little bit and just add a little more of a tail there. Okay, and you see how light it gets. Dark, medium, light. Okay, thank you very much. Good luck. You guys work hard and practice. You'll become really good watercolor artists. God bless you.